Hi there and welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll have a simple, intermediate technique on mirroring geometry from one side to the other without the hassle of having to change once again normals and other little details. Let's jump in and you'll see how we get to do this. What I want to do, I've got the front wheel and I like it when this car has a bit more of an aggressive stance, and for that I want to pick all these objects I've got for the front wheel and I want to turn them in Z a little bit. So this is what I want to do. I want to turn them like this. That gives a nice image. I like the way the car looks with the front wheels turned in a little bit, maybe even more. That's about right. Now the problem is we had, as you've seen, the layer symmetry turned on, and here, well, it's going the other way around, and that's not what we want. So let's undo that. Now it's sitting nice. And I want to make sure that we've got all of this geometry on the other side, and then we can turn them in the same direction. So to do that, I'll pick this here. And now, one of the first things you have to do is make sure that you do this the smart way. So not working too hard, but actually just work smart. And for that, I want to take all of these things here. And I'll turn off the layer symmetry first. There we go. And I want to check the normals. So do that on the tab Surface Edit, and you've got the Set Visual Surface Orientation. And I'm using the geometric setting, because normally that flips also the visual one. Let's look for any surfaces that pop up in red, and we've got something here. So I'll make sure that I've got all that cleaned up. So you want to do this only once. And this on the inside doesn't matter because it's actually this bit here. Now, I'll show you a couple of ways to do that, and most of us, or a lot of the fresh start modelers, they would go ahead and do this. You would go into Edit, Duplicate, Mirror, and use the XZ plane in this case. And there we go. We have the geometry. But you see, this one's blue, this one's red. And I would have to go ahead and change all that and go and pick the surfaces, do this. So the lasso selection, and keep on going till everything is blue. But there's a way I can save myself from doing all that work, and that would be picking the geometry, making sure that it's all on one layer, and it is. Now what I want to do is I'll go into the object lister, turn on the symmetry here, and go into layers, and under symmetry plane, create symmetric geometry. So you just go ahead and click that, and it does a bit of work. You've seen the mouse blinking there a little bit. And now we've got this, and let's check the normals, and everything is right. You see, just 2 clicks, and that was it. It couldn't be easier than that. But there's a little hook there. It makes all the geometry on the layer. Let's say each object that was on one side will have its, let's say, kids on the other side. So when you pick this object here, it's going to pick that one as well. And the only thing that you need to do is pick this whole lot here and go ahead once on edit and ungroup. And that's it. And now we have this as a group. And you've seen one little mistake that I've made. And let's make sure that we don't have that. So I'll start fresh. And this is my channel, guys. I'm showing you the mistakes and how to fix them. So stick with me. I know that my videos are a bit long, but you learn a lot more like this than just snappity snap and you've got some things there and you're wondering why it didn't work. So I want to show you also the mistakes in the process. So the big mistake that I've done here, I should have taken everything on this side and grouped it as one big group, because then once ungrouped, it would have actually everything split up there. So just open this file again. I'll delete that because, well, I hope you have saved. I did save before. Now, back again to this. I'll pick my objects. I'll make sure that these at the back are not on the same layer because I don't want to duplicate those. So new layer from selected object, and I'll call this by double clicking there rear wheels. Perfect. Turn on the symmetry there. That's one done. This one now. I'll rotate these back. And I just happen to remember the amount that I did rotate them at the beginning. So that's that. Nice. Now, let's take all that and group them. There we go. So that's nice and neat. One thing that I did not save is actually that little change in the normals, but let's do that now quickly. There we go, that's also good. Now let's pull up the object lister, hit here, that layer, go into layers, symmetry plane, and create symmetric geometry. And if I'm not mistaken, now this is one big group, and I'll take that group and I'll ungroup it. And it didn't do it. So let's try another option there. Now I'm not really familiar why it's not doing this. With the other versions of Alias, this is how I would have done it before. Just group one big group and that's that. Let's assign those objects to this layer here. Let's try ungroup by collapsing the node, preserving the position. That's also something that I do not want happening because I don't want to have everything like that. So my go-to trick on this would be just pick the surfaces. So I'll take that first. I'll go into edit, ungroup, and I'll just hit copy node. It didn't do it. I'll just use the default setting, delete node, hit down go there. Then you'll see we've got each groups, and instead of having to find all that, I'll just use this trick. I'll pick these surfaces, cut them, paste them again. That's that. And there we have it. And I'll just delete these symmetry nodes. This will clean up the file, and it will keep away unwanted relations here in the geometry. I'll need to figure out an even more elegant way of how to do this, but that's the quick and dirty way to do this. I just want to see these things where they are. And you can see here we've got a lot of null nodes, so everything's empty in there. That's resulting from the cut and paste. What I can do here, I can just click on here and delete all these, because this is all empty geometry. It's just entries that don't have anything in them. So it's all in a nutshell. Take your object that you've got as an original, make sure that you've got all the surface checks and everything done, so you do it only once. Group it as one big group, then do this method of turning on the symmetry, going to layers, symmetry plane, and create the geometry. Then ungroup once, cut and paste again all that, all those surfaces from the other side, and that's that. Pretty simple, right? Cool. And what I'll keep doing now is setting up that pivot point, so it's sitting all the way there, but very similar in the same situation on this side, because you can see it has a pivot point in the same area, so that's something we need to take care of. And one way to do that would be to locate that pivot point there based on the geometry. So that is based on that line there. Anyway, I'll set up the pivot so it's sitting the same way there. I'll let you figure that one out. If you can't, let me know in the comments. There are a few tricks that you can use, and it's just by measuring the radius on that there. It's one of these, and that will do it. Or what we can do, just to keep it even simpler, I'll take that layer there, because normally when you turn the wheel, it's going to be pivoting somewhere here in the back. So to have that kind of approximated, what I'll do, I'll go into evaluate and I'll take the radius measurement, measure it on one of these edges here, this one there. That will give me that point. Now, these objects, I'll go ahead and move their pivot to that point. And now on the other side, we'll do it very similarly. Actually, the exact same operation. I'll measure the radius of that circle there based on that surface. And now this, we will move all of that, we'll get its pivot moved to that point there. So take everything, go to move pivot, or for the ones who don't know how, who haven't set up their marking menus, go into transform, and then we've got set pivot, and we will control click, so hold control and right left mouse button there, click that, and I will have moved the pivot of all these picked objects over there. Perfect. And now what we can do is just pick all of these nicely and rotate them on the z-axis in the same direction, and you see now it's moving the way it should. Someone might ask why I haven't done it a little bit more elegant by grouping everything. Well, there is a reason why, and that reason is because I want to be able to pick the objects on their own. So as you see, I haven't selected the lug nuts, and I'll clean that up, but you don't have to watch this. It's going to be the same motions that I've done here. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you liked this basic tutorial, basic to mid, let's say, and stay tuned for the upcoming things. I'll catch you in my next videos.